Member, Mr. Lennox Schumann from the Deputy Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I first want to say to my colleagues on this side of the House a very sincere thank you for inviting me, welcoming me to a ship that is sailing to a destination where Guyana is going to be great. Mr. Speaker, I had prepared what I think is a very decent presentation, but I don't think that presentation in itself would do the budget prepared by Dr. Ashney Singh and his team any justice. And certainly I will not be able to do it in 15 minutes plus 5 or 10 or 20, maybe not even for the next day and a half or 2 days. Because the work that Dr. Ashney Singh and his team and all of my colleagues put into it, it is so tremendous that when you look at it, it represents only 20% of what this government committed. This administration is in here for the next 5 years, and this is but year one, which represents only 20% of the budget of the manifesto of the People's Progressive Party Civic. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this point before I really dive into some of the details. The very fact that we are sitting on this side of the House with 36 seats, and you, sir, are sitting there on that side of the House with just 12, a very sad descent from where you were a few years back. Now you are the shadows of the shadow of the greats. Not even the shadow, you're the shadow of the greats. So that in itself, Mr. Speaker, tells the people of Guyana about the competence and capacity that is resident on this side of the House. And that in itself is an endorsement of what the People's Progressive Party Civic has to offer this country. Mr. Speaker, there are some things that I really wanted to touch on. And I will deal with some of it. And you know, I'm glad that our very first speaker today came out and started to talk about gold. Because it is something that I think that they're intimately, very, very intimately knowledgeable about. And I see when Dr. Ashney Singh was presenting the budget, and he said, gold prices are up. They're $5,000 now. I saw one of the honorable members on that side of the House, in his characteristic way as he's seen on social media, licking his lips. And when he said that declarations are up because we have taken measures to root out corruption, I saw a frown appear on that person's face. That speaks to the work that the People's Progressive Party Civic has done. Not only that, Mr. Speaker, and I dare say I'm sorry that my colleague AG is not here, because we went down to lunch and I saw some of them biting the gold spoon. I don't know why, but I saw some of them biting the gold spoon, testing it. Is that not interesting? Mr. Speaker, I want to touch on aviation because I think it is a component of our economy that sometimes gets overshadowed by the tremendous work that is being done in every ministry. Aviation contributes $4.1 trillion to the global economy. $4.1 trillion. It is the fourth largest component of any economy. When you look at economic growth, and these are global figures and some of them are local in context, from 2020 to to 2025, traffic has grown 532% in Guyana. When you look at airlines, when we started off at 6 or 16, that represents a 266% growth in airlines wanting to come here. Mr. Speaker, it is out of this recognition that the government of Guyana has decided to invest in a new terminal at the Chedijigan International. It is because of this that Rose Hall will be upgraded, Lethem will be upgraded. And for my young and new parliamentary colleague that came and spoke with such false sense of piety about what is being done for indigenous peoples, when you can only name 5 communities and there are over 243 communities in this country. When you showed up on that pulpit and pretended that you know what indigenous peoples are getting, that, sir, is disingenuous. When you talk about airports, for example, you don't know that there's an airport at Mabruma. You don't know that there's an airport at Port Kaituma. You cannot name, of the 243 communities, you can only name 5. That, sir, is a false sense of piety. And I could list it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if I knew that on that side of the House they had competency in understanding numbers, I could read out the numbers, but I know that they're still stuck on 32, 33, and I don't want to go down that path. I know they've got difficulties with numbers. And on that side of the House, Mr. Speaker, they have some very significant difficulties reading, because if they would have read the budget, they would know of what's going on. It's right there. The books were given to you. And if you want, I could read them out to you. Good sir. Madia Airstrip, Port Kaituma Airstrip, Oranduk, Chenapau, Kopinang, Monkey Mountain, Korkobaru, Keto, Maikwak, Yoramparo, Ayan, Camp Jaguar, Apateri, Guns, Achuib. Did you want me to continue, sir? I can continue.
Mr. Speaker.
Camarang, Warmadong, Arau.
Remember, I have the opposition chief whip on her feet.
Mr. Speaker, I have no issue with what he's saying, but there's a member, Mr. Ramkisoon, who is using his phone to take videos and pictures on this side. And that is not permitted in the House.
I will look out for it, and I will caution everyone.
Thank you.
With respect to the video taking, I have been very lax. Honorable member, Minister Ramkisoon, please. You know, you use it on parliamentary language. Your speaker is speaking, and you're shouting across. Come on. Panditji, please. Honorable member, you may continue.
Mr. Speaker, we have Peruni, Chinawing, extension at Arching, Korpung, Imbaymaday, Chai Chai, Olive Creek, Ikeraku, Hicksman, Torparu. Mr. Speaker, once again, if the honorable members on that side understood how to read, they would know what's in the budget prepared by the People's Progressive Party Civic, but they don't read. They don't pay attention. I remember, and on this side, Mr. Speaker, right, I will separate the House now, and I see my old colleague there, Honorable Don Hastings, would have jumped ship. But you don't jump from a ship that goes somewhere onto a ship that goes nowhere. I jumped onto a ship that is going to a destination with the right captain and the right crew. And Mr. Speaker, I dare say that the few that jumped ships from here to went over there, it is because they know that soon they will be without a captain. That is why they're hoping to be the next captain very soon, very shortly. Very soon, very shortly. Mr. Speaker, I go down to this. The young colleague said, once again, false sense of piety, that we're not doing anything to address education. We're not doing anything to address health. Yet, the very community that he lives in is benefiting from a new hospital. A brand spanking new hospital. Once again, Mr. Speaker, I can't make these things up. These guys just don't read. They don't do their research. Maybe that is why they have to go on social media and say, oh, watch all of this book what we got to read in 6 days. They cannot read. So don't go and pretend that you know what you're talking about, sir. Don't go and pretend you know what you're talking about. When we've got schools, 6 secondary schools, I've got all the stats here, sir, completed 2020 to 2024. The amount of people that benefit through that time. I've got all the primary schools that were built here. I've got all the secondary schools here. And the honorable member wants me to read them out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I notice, Honorable Terence Campbell, that you seem to have been disassociated or disassociating yourself from the Win Party. You've moved away so that the camera will not capture you as part of their party. That is very, very respectable and very commendable. Very good. And I dare say that according to the standing orders, and Mr. Speaker, if you'll grant me a little bit of leverage here, according to the standing orders, I think it says, and once again, this reflects part of the reading or lack thereof mentality. The standing order says you can only make noise from your own seat. And that, sir, is not your own seat. Mr. Speaker, construction of Oriala Secondary School. Once again, they don't read. You look at Philippi, Jawala, Carao, Monkey Mountain, Kopinang, Tabatingwa, Maranao, Karasabay, Madhya, Crowdarno, Shulinab. Mr. Speaker, dare I go on? Dare I go on? Mr. Speaker, this here, I should not be in a position where I have to make up for their deficiency and their lack of interest. I should not be in this position where I have to make up for their lack of interest in the people's affairs. None. So, someone said go on. We've got Baramita, Falstop, Kariako, Mabaruma. Mr. Speaker, once again, I am standing here listening to this false sense of piety that presented before me some speakers ago. When you come, and I will say it again and again and again because it is a fact, when you're going to come in here and speak about indigenous people's lands, when your colleagues on that side discontinue the Amerindian Land Titling Program and the People's Progressive Party Civic resurrected it and ensured that indigenous peoples have a title to their land, sir. That is the difference. So when you're standing on that side of the house and you cannot do your research and you do not do your research, then don't come in this house and pretend like you know what you're saying. It is under this administration, under the People's Progressive Party Civic, that I will finally, my community of St. Cuthberts, that I applied for under the APNU, under the PNC, AFC, APNU, whatever the mutation is. When we applied in 2015, Mr. Speaker, you know what they did? They took the file and they threw it out. They took the file from my community. I personally applied, Mr. Speaker. In September of 2015, I personally applied for my community as a leader. And you know what APNU did? Took it and threw it out. Because when the government changed, the file was nowhere to be found. Not even the letter. And the good thing is, Mr. Speaker, is that I saved a copy of the letter. So under this People's Progressive Party Civic, I want my community of St. Cuthberts to know that we are finally going to get our land title under the People's Progressive Party Civic. When the honourable member spoke about exploitation of indigenous peoples. Yet, you are sitting in the house with one of the kings of exploitation. One of the kings of exploitation who exploited indigenous peoples. Mr. Speaker, I could go into the complaints that we got. Exploited indigenous peoples, invaded their lands, tortured their people. Mr. Speaker, that is the house that wants to come in here, the party that wants to come in here and preach like they're the most pious person in this world. When you come in this house, sir, and you talk about what you have not done for the poor people in Guyana, talk about the $191 billion that you owe the poor taxpayers whose lives could have been transformed had you paid your taxes, had your party and its cohorts paid their taxes.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Sorry, I'm standing on 4216. No member shall impute improper motive to any member of the National Assembly.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Member, I don't know who you're talking about, but the standing order is quite specific. Any member. But you're saying inside the house. Could be me.
Mr. Speaker, I stand corrected. And I thank the member for bringing that, but I will also say who the cap fit, let them wear it. I didn't call a name, Mr. Speaker, and I respectfully, withdraw my comment. Thank you. The interesting thing, Mr. Speaker, is that sometimes when you know things, they say knowledge in itself is a blessing, but sometimes it's a curse.
Okay, I know one thing. Your time is up. You need an extension.
Mr. Speaker, permit me to move that the honourable member be given 5 minutes to conclude his presentation.
Thank you, Minister Singh. Honorable Member, Mr. Schuman, you may continue.
Mr. Speaker, when the honourable member spoke, he said, "What are you doing for indigenous peoples?" And he went on this massive rant rave. Well, I will tell you, good sir, that when the runways in regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 are completed, in region 1, it will benefit 44,014 indigenous peoples. In region 7, 18,157 indigenous peoples. Region 8, 12,319 indigenous peoples. Region 9, 25,521 indigenous peoples. That is what this party is doing. And, Mr. Speaker, I can't, once again, 15 minutes plus 5. Within that time, I cannot do this budget any justice. But I will tell you that when a school is built, that school not only generates jobs, it provides a pathway for every single Guyanese to elevate. When a health center or a hospital is built, it provides a pathway for every single Guyanese to enjoy a healthy future. When these runways are built in all the communities, and I hope I don't have to go back and read it again, I hope that they're recording because I know they've got devices, which is okay. I'm glad that you are. When these airports are built, that you'd be able to access, once again, a global economy that equates to $4.1 trillion. You'll be able to have medevac, you'll be able to have cheaper flights in and out that provides the economic activities in those communities. But this context, Mr. Speaker, is lost on them. If they don't want to read, then they have no willingness to understand the budget. They literally cannot understand the budget because I think that maybe I almost want, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to impute negatively on them, so I will save the last words. Only to say, to my Guyanese brothers and sisters, Budget 2026 represents only 20% of what the People's Progressive Party civic promise in our manifesto. And at maturation, in the next 5 years, I will tell you that when you see the delivery and when we go to the polls in 2031, that we'd be lucky if we could see 12 on that side and 10 on that side, because we're going to a supermajority. And on that, Mr. Speaker, I throw my full weight and commend Budget 2026. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honourable member. The honourable member, Ms. Bagmati